What is going on, y'all? So, I just hit my trash cans.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up. So
well, that's a prime example of why you gotta look where you're going. Probably gonna be editing this out. Anyways, what is going on, y'all? So, my competition has passed, and something I realized is when it comes to filming for a competition, it's really difficult to do that when you're the person competing. So unfortunately, I didn't really get that much usable footage. I got enough to do an Instagram reel, and I got my basics, so I'll be doing kind of a review. Matter of fact, in this video, I'll be reviewing that right now. For my squat, I was definitely disappointed with my squat. I ended up meeting my old match meet PR at 452 pounds. Then I had attempted about, I think it was 460 something, which I had accomplished in training, but just wasn't there on comp day. And that sometimes happens, which it's not that big of a deal. And when you fail a lifting competition, you really can't let that affect you. So I just pushed that past, and then I chose to focus on bench. And on bench, I was happy with bench. My first lift was a little meh, just because of when it comes to comps, there's not a lot I can do my normal warm-up with. And a lot of my warm-ups involve my back. And then, so, couldn't really do that. But I still got my good warm-up in. And then I learned a very awesome cue from a friend of mine who actually filmed my two lifts. Not my last lift, unfortunately, because she's a coach. But she ended up filming two of my lifts. And the cue really helped my bench. Like you'll see in the video, I was pressing as hard as I could, but I had no, I don't want to say desire, but I felt no bodily compulsion to shift my hips up and fail the lift. Because unfortunately, in competition, if your butt comes off the bench, it's a failed lift. But with the toes off, so your big toe off the ground essentially is how she explained it, that targets the tendons in your leg a different way, which results in you still being able to put all of your force into the balls of your feet, but you have no intention to drive your hips up. It's almost like you're kind of curling your hips into the bench while you're pressing upwards. So that's an incredible cue that I'll be incorporating into my training and my competition methods and my athletes. So I'm super stoked there. And then what else I had was, and I ended up getting 262. I think that's what I got. And I was super stoked at that. It was something I'd worked really hard for, so I was really happy to get that. I think it might have been 258. I gotta look back at it, but I was still happy because I went 3 for 3 on bench. And then on deadlift, the thing about this comp was they had an equipment switch, and I never want to be that guy who blames the equipment. But good Lord, an IPF barbell is one of the stiffest things I've ever had my hands on. And insert any joke there. But seriously, it's one of the stiffest bars out there. There is literally nothing else like it. And unless you've trained with one, it's really hard to get a feel for what it's going to be like. And I've never trained with one. Matter of fact, 7-8 months ago, I was training almost every session with a deadlift bar, and I recently switched back over to power bars after training for almost a year with a deadlift bar. So I went from 0 whip to some whip, and then in my competition last minute, I had absolutely no give. So you'll see in the videos, like, it threw me off, not in a way that like I was gonna fail every lift, but it threw me off. And I still I still PR'd this meet, because even though I've gotten 500, matter of fact, I'll show you the video at 495, even though I've gotten that weight, in competition, the most I've gotten was 450 or 460 something, or I think it was 450, because when I had attempted 470 in comp, I ended up hitching, which is where like you use your body to move the, like, kind of stop, and then you reshift the body to get it up. And that's not allowed in any form of powerlifting. It's allowed in strongman, which is why you see it happen all the time in strongman, but it's not allowed in powerlifting. So when I saw that happen, I was super disappointed. But anyways, overall meet results, super happy with it. I put in a lot of work. Wasn't the best that I could have been, but it just drives me to work harder. And that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So it's been a few days since that meet. It is currently Tuesday, 4th of July. Everyone's driving around going nuts. Fireworks are going off. But guess what I'm doing? I'm going to the gym. So I'm dedicating this workout to America itself, 4th of July special workout. And this workout, it's going to be a workout I don't normally do, because while I did get a program to do for the next few days, it is an intro program. And I told my coach, I'm like, hey, as long as I don't do squat, bench, or deadlift, is it okay if I do like one workout on my own of just a workout I've been wanting to do? And he said, yeah, it's fine. And that's a back workout. And not just like, oh, a few back exercises. No, I mean a proper back workout. Because I'm not going to lie. One of the things that I miss so badly as a coming from like training in wrestling, training in bodybuilding, everything, was the fact that there is no proper back day in a powerlifting program. Yes, you can train your back certain days, and I do have back exercises, but in my opinion, no powerlifting program ever has enough back work, whether that be lower, upper, trap, lat, delt, rhomboid, anything. It does not train them enough. And that is something that I felt personally affected me in this meet. I wasn't getting tight. Like, I had guys telling me like, hey, you're not setting your lats tight enough. Hey, your like back's not being like sturdy enough. Hey, all the tightness left your back in the deadlift. So today, just to kind of set off this off season, because my next competition that I'll probably be going for is a competition in February that a friend of mine is going to be running. I'm going to be doing about 7-8 months of off season. And in off season training and powerlifting standpoint, that's where you put on muscle. That's where you work on cutting, bulking, doing what you want to do, while also training movements that are going to lead to improvement in your overall body composition. And then later on, when it's time to do prep, it's going to lead to increases in, It's going to lead to increases in strength and stability, because you're not just focusing on technique. Because for the people out there who are like, oh, for powerlifting, you just squat, bench, deadlift every day. That's not a good thing, because the squat, bench, deadlift is like the One Punch Man program. It's hard. It'll kill you. And if you do it every day, you'll see results, but you're going to be so imbalanced from the fact that there's no real back work, besides the fact that the back has to use stability, that it's just going to lead to like issues. So yes, training back is so important. And that's why tonight, to celebrate my competition, I'm going to be treating myself do a Rockstar fueled, well, Rockstar and apple pie moonshine pre-workout fueled back workout at my old commercial gym. So let's get to it. I'm gonna be going over the exercises, just kind of audio wise over the workout this time, just to see how that goes through. If I like it, I'll use it. If I don't, it's whatever. But hope you guys enjoy the workout. Let's see what happens. This is how I have myself up. Alrighty, so I am starting off this workout with one of my favorite warm-ups to do. I got this more from Nick Walker versus Branch Warren, but this is one of the best warm-ups in order to just activate the entire back, and that is assisted pull-ups. And the reason I'm doing them assisted is because while I can do pull-ups technically, I'm 250 pounds at the moment, and I cannot do it more than about 4 or 5 reps. So with the assisted pull-up machine, I'm able to get a lot more reps in, and I'm doing about warm-up sets of about 12 to 15 reps just to feel the entire stretch of the back and just get a great pump. And then this is going to intro into the first exercise of the workout, which is going to be lighter weight, higher rep stuff. Quick side note, when I say lighter weight, higher rep, I mean that it's going to be the same 12 to 15 reps, but I'm just lightening the load on this machine, so it's technically heavier weight, and you'll see that as I continuously try and force out as many reps as possible, but with more weight.
I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up, cash in the bag, stadium packed, baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed, what a rock star on the side, baby I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up, cash in the bag, stadium packed, baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad. Cash in the bag, stadium packed, what a rock star on the side, I'm moving up on the attack, baby I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up, cash in the bag, stadium packed, baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad. I won't obey. You cannot tell me what I cannot say. I'm here to last, so yeah, I'm here to stay. I'll live each second like my final day. You can't take that away. Got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium.
Next on the list is hands down my favorite back exercise for building overall thickness, and that's going to be the one-arm dumbbell row. You can see I'm starting off with a lighter dumbbell just to, again, warm up. I like to start off each exercise with a lighter weight just so I can feel the movement and make sure everything's moving all right. In this scenario, I'm making sure that I'm retracting with my rhomboid and my lats, because when I was younger, I was always ego lifting, and I would be typically just swinging the weight and using more of my elbow and my bicep to get the weight up and think I was doing it, while now I'm making sure to get the proper stretch in my rhomboid and then my lat and then a little bit of my trap as well, and then contracting it up and squeezing each arm. And I do each arm back to back, making sure that I can feel them both equally. And then after I do that, I'm going to be switching over to a lot heavier weight, but still a weight that I can do for a fairly high amount of reps, which you can see here. I think it's going to be, I want to say it's about 65, 70 pounds that I was pushing for. And to be honest, like, you can get a really great pump doing it just like this, and you don't need a lot of heavy weight. This can be a movement that you can definitely ego lift at some point. Like at one point, I've actually done 120 pounds for about 8 reps. But if you just want to get a great pump and build mass, this is the best method, with just slightly lighter weight and just controlling the movement.
You turn you to an enemy, hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking.
All right, we're moving on to the top set. I believe it was set in around the 75s-ish. but I'm using the figure 8 straps in this set because of just the fact that, again, I just competed in a powerlifting meet, so my hands were pretty torn up from the barbell we were using, and just using the straps honestly helps me get a better back pump because I don't have to worry about my forearms getting involved at all. And to be honest, I used to be one of those guys who would say, oh, train without the forearms or train without straps because that'll help with your forearm strength. But to be honest, that led to me suffering more because I would do it because I think I needed better grip strength in wrestling. But in the end, it just led me having a slightly weaker back than if I were to focus on training my back directly versus just trying to train my forearms and other stuff. So making sure to just have a designated forearm day like I do with my Grip Genie training, I just use that for my forearm strength, and then I try to focus on my back, because when you have certain muscle groups that you're trying to focus on, you should just focus on those specific muscle groups.
Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate for taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make, cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it.
Alright, next up, still using the straps on this one. This is just a warm-up set, but it's going to be the chest-supported hammer strength rows. I believe Sam Seelig said it best, where this is definitely an ego strength machine, where you can stack up the plates as much as you want. But for me, I'm sticking to about 3 plates a side. I think I ended up going to, just because, to be honest, when I was trying to go for about 12 to 15 reps, that's how I felt. That's how much I needed to feel it. So it's a really great machine in my opinion, because of the fact that it's great for overall isolation while still getting a great strength gains, because you're completely contracting the entire back in the rowing movement. But it's also a great way to kind of test your control of the weight, because if you're able to squeeze throughout the entire motion without swinging your back or anything like that, it's perfect, because you're going to be getting an overall pump rather than getting a lower back pump or an ab pump or something like that, which you can sometimes get when you're lifting with a barbell. But as you can see, I definitely did move a little bit, so I'm still trying to focus on making sure I can control my weight better, but I definitely recommend this movement.
If it's controlling you, I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through.
Next up, it's going to be the pull downs. So I've pretty much done nothing but rowing this workout. In my experience, Branch Warren definitely enjoyed a lot of rowing movements. So finally going to the pull down, it definitely was an interesting experience, because when I used to do back days, I would start off with the pull downs, and then that would usually lead to me going into rows. But starting off the rows and then going into the pull downs, it definitely made these movements a lot harder, even with much, much lighter weight. But then on top of that, it also led to me being able to isolate my lats a lot more, because my rhomboids and my traps were already pre-exhausted.
And while starting off this workout with the pull-ups, it definitely helped because I was able to feel the entirety of my back while moving downwards instead of just trying to kind of curl it, which to be honest, when I was younger, I would kind of do more often, where I would use a lot more of my biceps. While with this movement, I was focusing more on just bringing my elbows down, which is exactly what you need to do in order to get a proper isolation and contraction of the lats. And just pushing to exhaustion on these lifts throughout the workout is something I'm not necessarily used to, since I've been in a powerlifting prep for about 3 or 4 months prior to this point. But this workout in general was just an amazing experience because I absolutely enjoy training like this, but I also enjoy training like a powerlifter. So it's great to kind of mix things up right after you do a competition, just to see how everything is and how everything feels.
Find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through.
Alrighty, so home stretch now. So this is going to be one of the last rowing movements, or if this is the last rowing movement. And this is more of a upper back focused rowing movement, which you're going to see switching to a even more upper back isolated movement in after this set. And what this is essentially focusing on, this is focusing on my lower traps and my rear delts more than like my lats or my rhomboids. Because if I were trying to focus on that, I would honestly take a dumbbell and sit on that, so it's a lot higher. So I'm doing almost more of a pullover motion with the cable. But what I'm trying to do here is just get a great contraction of the upper back, which is going to lead to kind of that look of definition in the upper definition, where the traps meet the lower traps meet the upper traps and the rear delts, which creates that whole kind of demon face physique, which the rhomboids help with. But you definitely need to develop the lower traps in order to get that pulled off, and I definitely don't have those. And you can see I'm using a lat pull down attachment because that leads to my arms being a lot wider, which causes the need to use the rear delts and the lower traps to contract more than just kind of using my biceps to contract more. So definitely highly recommend this exercise. I did this for, I want to say it was 3 sets of just very, very lightweight, high rep stuff, just feeling the contraction each rep and not necessarily exploding with it, but just trying to get that squeeze with every rep. And then finally, it's time to show off what all that hard work over the past hour and a half has been like, and it's time to show off that back pump. And as you can see, while I love repping the Gasp shirt because this oversized look is something I always messed with, once I take off the pump cover, you can see that I have absolutely nothing. My back is probably one of my worst attributes personally, just because of the fact that I never trained it properly when I was a kid. So now that I'm getting into powerlifting training, I'm working on focusing on getting my back built up more. That way it not only helps with my lift, but it also helps just create my dream physique overall. My physique is something to be, is not something to be desired. I'm working so hard to get more built physically and while also increasing my strength, which leads to the last exercise of this workout, which were burner sets of pullovers or pull downs, where it's completely straight armed, and you shouldn't really feel it in the tricep too much, but if you're keeping your arms straight, you're gonna feel it in the triceps a little bit, and you're just trying to go for that overall lat, like perfect lat pull down, so you're getting the best pump in your lat, which is gonna lead to just overall perfect width. And sometimes I've even had people tell me to start my workouts with this exercise, and I actually have back when I was training in bodybuilding, or trying to. This exercise really helped develop just overall width of the back and led to just some of the best pumps around. you can definitely see on my back, ignore the tattoo there, I just did a competition because you can see where the bar was digging into my back. But all in all, this exercise, especially with a drop set, is going to lead to a lot of development. You just have to be very consistent with it. And you can also see that I have a little bit of imbalance on my back right there, so that's something I'm going to be focusing on this off season.
Now that was an epic workout. Oh, like, yo. Oh, I haven't worked out like that in a minute. Like, not so much the weight. Like, honestly, the weights for a guy my size are pretty much laughable, but I was just pushing it each rep and trying to get as perfect form as I could. Like, obviously, you saw towards the end, I was having that bit of form breakdown, but that was exactly what I was looking for. Just like absolute muscular failure. And that is how you take a stressed out, annoying, drama-filled day, just make it go poof. And now I'm gonna take my butt home, get my nightly supplements in, throw all my stuff in the wash, and enjoy. Well, I don't have the day off because I'll be spending it working for On Repeats, working with with On Repeat Sports and my YouTube channel. It is one of my days off from my in-person job, which, in case y'all don't know, I recently started working at a kennel that I used to work at back in 2021. I got some videos of my furry little friends that I love to hang out with 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. But anyways, so that was the workout. It was entirely hypertrophy focused. There weren't any gains of strength to be made. Like, every single exercise every weight I used in that exercise I could easily do for those first few reps. But the whole point was getting to that point where I felt my muscles start to like tire out, and I started to feel like my other muscles try and take over. And the whole point was trying to not let that happen, because I'm very upper back, but I'm very trap focused, and a lot trap and bicep like focused in a lot of my pulling movements, just from years of bad form when I was in wrestling. And this workout, as you saw with the assisted pull-ups, the dumbbell rows, the hammer strength rows, everything, it was a lot lighter weight, and I was trying to focus on the contraction of the lat and the rhomboid. Because if I'm not contracting those, then I'm not actually doing the workout, and I might as well just be hitting biceps or traps in a much more focused manner. But anyways, that was the main point of the workout. It was just to kind of bring me that focus again of feeling my back out, because I'm talking to my coach about probably not adding a day per se, but placing a lot more emphasis into training my back and other parts of my body that have definitely been lagging during this prep. And that's going to be the whole point of this off season. This off season is going to be about 3 to 4 months, like a standard training block. But I talked to my coach, we're going to spend that training block, potentially even 2 training blocks, into getting increased strength in my lagging body parts while working on my main movements. That way, my main movements are able to increase, not so much by like training them directly, but by training the lagging body parts that are very integral to that, which to the squat, bench, and deadlift is the back. The back's really important. The second most important thing I'm going to be working on, and I'll have a video out on this, and I'm going to vomit because I did research on this. I learned about this through Westside, Jailhouse Strong. Jamal Browner, I think, talked about it. A couple other guys talked about it, and a friend of mine who's a coach recommended it. And I'm going to talk to my coach about it. You pains me to say it, I've been a conventional puller all this time, but based on how my low bar squats were moving, based on how my deadlift was moving, I think I'm gonna stand to benefit from properly pulling sumo on deadlifts to work on my hip strength. And to be honest, that whole sumo versus conventional, it's complete BS. Like, can you pull more sumo? Obviously, the mechanics are very different. But the thing is, the mechanics are so different that a conventional puller actually can stand to benefit by doing sumo if he's trying to increase strength. Because when I pull sumo, it feels weird. It hits muscles that I rarely hit. Therefore, I stand to benefit from doing it because I'm going to say it. I sit a lot. I stand a lot. And so I used to have very bad lower cross syndrome where my glutes and my hammies would just tense so much forward that it looked like I was continuously just pressing my pelvis forward. So training sumo is going to help just train all of that. So I'm going to talk to my coach about that. I believe tomorrow about incorporating that in my off-season training. And yeah, I'm going to learn to pull sumo. And then I think for squats, I'll probably doing either SSB, high bar, or front squats for the off-season just to help train those muscle groups. And then I think for bench, I'm more or less going to keep it the same, but incorporate a lot more variations just so I can train that. And then I'm also going to be focusing on my shoulders because I'm not going to lie. I was ignoring my shoulders for about 2-ish months because shoulders fell on a day that felt that like I would not necessarily avoid per se, but like my schedule would just get so mixed up that I was making an arm day for my strict curls, and I'm still going to be doing my strict curl competition. I just don't know when. But because of that, I was sort of neglecting the designated shoulder day because it also had an arm day in it, so it was getting weird. But I'm also going to be focusing on shoulders, and I have a new goal set, and that's going to be a 100-pound shoulder press properly, all the way down for that one guy who freaking just absolutely like assaulted my comment section this one time I posted a shoulder press video. So anywho, that's gonna be the goals. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or you want to see me try out any other workouts, just comment below what workouts you want to see me try, because I absolutely enjoy doing new workouts. This workout was something I haven't done in a minute. It was an awesome pull day. Like, even though my back is laughable, and I'll say it, my back's freaking laughable, it was pumped today. So I'm feeling it. I'm gonna be sleeping a little weird tonight, but I'm okay with that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. It helps me pay for school. So I'll see y'all next time. Hope you have a great 4th of July. Wasn't able to film any fireworks, unfortunately, but happy birthday, USA, and I hope you all have a great one. See you all around.